Welcome back to another episode of Engineering Money, the podcast where some full-time engineers give their 2 cents on the financial news of the week. My name is Ben, back from the purgatory of no internet. There was an outage in my area, and it lasted for like 3 days, but I survived, and we are back now.
We're excited and enthusiastic to have Ben back.
And I'm Tim, mechanical engineer out of Indianapolis.
And I'm Joey, food products engineer in Minneapolis.
Sweet. I also just want to make a quick note here. I got my same mug, but this time it's full of cranberry juice because men's health is important.
Oh, I actually thought that was coffee.
No, it's actually cranberry juice. It's just straight.
It's dark enough.
Yeah. But we all got our mugs today.
Hey, but we do all have mugs.
Yeah, it's mug day.
And Ben was mind blown that I have instant hot water at my house.
I had never heard of that before.
Ridiculous.
Boiling water, not hot water.
On demand, he can make tea, just like that. It's like Thanos, but tea.
It's you just gotta get good, Ben.
I guess so. Speaking of liquids, though, Tim, we have a sponsor this week.
Oh, yeah. I always forget. We're sponsored by Vinovest. The only investment, not the only investment, but it's an investment that you can actually drink. How cool is that? And if you sign up with our code, I'm pretty sure you get like a discount on the expense ratio for the first year, but I should check in on that again because I don't want to say that they get it and then they don't.
You definitely get something.
Yeah.
The minimum you get to invest in wine.
Yeah, at the very least,
use our code.
It's very cool, and something different, and that's what we want. That's how people get rich. Investing in
Ben,
weird
you can't
things.
say that. And you can't say that people get rich.
I didn't say that they'll get rich off of this. I say that's how people do get rich. They invest in...
You got to diversify your portfolio.
Yeah, that's what rich people do after they've already gotten rich.
Alternate assets. The alternate asset.
Either way, we're arguing invest in wine.
Yes.
It's either your only investment and you're investing in something weird to get rich, or you're diversifying to manage risk.
Yes.
Yes. But this was a big week.
Huge week.
Heck of a week.
And Joey, we made some predictions we didn't make hard predictions, but we talked about, as of Sunday, the stock market was at about the same level as it was 3 months ago. And that was the indicator that said if the stock market gets up, then the incumbent wins. And if it's down, then the challenger wins. And the stock market was up on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have, the stock market said that Trump should have won.
Well, here's my thing was, this was obviously a highly anticipated event, the election. And in case any of you had, I don't know, a coma, the way it went was we didn't get the answer on election night, as most elections go. So it was just a bunch of indecision. It wasn't clear who was ahead right at first, and the stocks went up. And then another day, we didn't have an answer, and stocks went up. And so, to me,
I was confused by that.
That was just saying, like, indecision means stocks go up.
Well, so that's not entirely true, especially for Wednesday and Thursday, because at that point, we already had a pretty good indication of how the House and the Senate were going to look. Like, it wasn't 100% still, but we had... definitely more solid answers, and so I'm going to show this chart that I guess you guys talked about last week.
Yeah.
So now
we touched on it briefly, Joey.
Yeah. So now
right. Yeah, we didn't have this chart though. We kind of explained this idea.
Yeah. So YouTube people can see this. Spotify people, this is showing, and other, just audio outlets.
Apple podcasts, Anchor listeners.
We are seeing 6 different scenarios of how stocks perform based off of
Under
the president, the House, and the Senate, how they all divide up. And the best performance historically has been when there's a Democratic president with a split Congress. And Congress,
which is
on Monday and Tuesday, was looking like it was going to be split again, like it was for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's looking good for the next 4 years, at least from a setup standpoint.
What we have,
because everybody knows that past performance equals future return.
Hey, I said from a setup standpoint, we got all the right ingredients.
But I want to know what to do next week. Because finally we had a week of no answers and stocks moved, and now a weekend when we got an answer. What's going to become of it?
I mean, what are futures looking like? I was going to check that out earlier today.
I guess my hypothesis is stocks were down the week before the election, and Joe Biden was pretty heavily favored to win. Then we got indecision, which to me is less than a Biden win, and stocks went up. And as long as there was indecision, stocks were going up. Now we go back to Biden win. It seems to me like they should kind of slingshot back down. The counterpoint, though, is we've seen like economists theorize that Biden's economic plan would be better for the stock market. And so,
well, and as we talked about last week, stock markets or the markets tend to do better under Democratic presidents, but obviously,
but it's pretty much within error. Like
but this is short term, so it's not gonna.
Right.
It doesn't go, okay, Democratic president, stocks have to go up now.
Yeah, but it's just like maybe long term you could have some kind of play. But I'm thinking Monday morning, what's going to happen? I'm betting that this like 3 days of green are going to rebound a little bit.
I do not know what's going on with the
because
chart
they went
right
up
now.
for kind of no reason. They went up for indecision. Like there wasn't something that said, oh yeah, stocks should go up right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'll go down. I kind of hope it does because I have some buy orders in and I want them to be at a better price.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so here's the last 5 days. What all the 3 big ones did.
For those listening only, we're looking at NASDAQ, S&P 500, and Dow Jones.
The most, right?
Yeah, the lowest one, which was the Dow Jones, is
which
up 7% this past week.
Right, it was a serious green week. Like after election non-results were coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep buying. At the beginning of the week, I had a bunch of money that I needed to put in, and I was like, oh, I'll just cost average it over the whole week.
Time in the market beats timing the market.
Yes, I know, Ben.
Thank you, every comment in r/stocks.
But, Joey, if you're looking for more long-term, though,
which
I have some plays for you.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Well, I guess this does kind of play into the whole Democratic president thing, but global warming, it's coming. And you know how you can profit off of it?
Air conditioning.
HVAC. Investing in HVAC.
There you go.
So,
that's full screen.
But it's not just warming, it's climate change, which results in more extreme climates. And like, Ben, you don't have AC in your apartment, right?
No, it's pretty uncommon in Seattle for apartments to have AC because it's pretty temperate up here, but
I guess that makes sense.
And like a lot of Europe doesn't have HVAC. I mean, they have heating because their winters get colder, but during the summer, they don't. They're very hot. But as things become more extreme, people may be buying AC units to just handle those
Climate control.
swings.
It's a nice thing to
Yeah.
have.
And I don't know. And I don't think we're going to be able to make it's already been proven that, these, unless there's huge changes that are made, it's probably, we're not going to talk about this here. We're just talking about the markets. But,
Climate change
it's
is real,
definitely
Tim.
coming.
You don't have to.
It is, yes.
And it impacts the
No, no, no.
market.
I'm saying I
It's
don't think
fair.
the governments are going to do a well enough job to be able to reverse it.
That tends to be the trend we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was in like 20 years ago. It was, hey, 2020 is like the cutoff point. You got to do these things by then, and like nothing got done.
Yeah.
So tell us about these companies, Tim, that we're looking at right now.
So the big ones are Carrier, Train, Daikin, Lennox, and Johnson Controls. But you can just ignore Lennox because they're kind of stinky in my opinion. But the HVAC business was valued at 91 billion this year, and it's expected to reach 173 billion in 4 years. So nearly doubling.
Yeah, that is definitely a larger number.
It's quite growth.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have thought of this, but so the US, we have a lot of air conditioning units, like 90% of households have them. Japan actually has us beat though. I wouldn't have thought of that. But China's only 60%. Saudi Arabia is 53%. Korea is 86%. And those are the top 5 countries with the most AC units. So the average is well below 50%. So there's a lot of room to grow.
Oh my gosh.
And then only 8% of people in the hottest parts of the world have AC units. But those are like more or less wealthy countries, so maybe they just don't have the option to have them. But as international places become more wealthy, maybe they will be surging with buying AC units.
I think something interesting that just kind of highlights the importance of HVAC technology. So I remember back at school, there was some statistic about the whole university, and it was like total cooling tons, because that's how ACs are measured. It's like tons of water cooled. But the trend through the years, it's still positive even in the winter. And in central Indiana, winters get cold, but they still have to keep AC on because there are buildings that are then heated, and then we'll have rooms that have to stay cold. And so they have both the heat and the AC going at the same time.
Well, that's just because our school loved their steam heating and they always overheated everything. But so we've talked about Carrier before. And Carrier's great. We have a graph pulled up where Carrier's just way outperformed all the other companies that have listed. But I think that's partially influenced by the fact that Carrier was a new stock. Who'd they split off of, Ben?
Raytheon and United Technologies merged and then split into the 3 different ones where it's Raytheon Technologies, Otis, and Carrier. Carrier is still my best call of 2020, for sure.
Yeah. Carrier, though, like if you look at the chart, it's pretty much nothing but up. But the thing is, these other stocks you're looking at, they kind of have the same shape. They're just only half or a quarter of the growth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's because Carrier is so new, so there's more speculation to it. I mean, they're not a new company, but a new ticker.
It's a new exciting thing.
Yeah. But some quick facts about the companies. Carrier has the highest net profit margin over all of the competitors that I listed, which again are Carrier, Daikin, Johnson Controls, Lennox, and Train. Yeah, Train. Daikin spends the most on R&D relative to revenue, so maybe better long term. Johnson has the fastest revenue growth over the past 5 years, and Johnson has the highest dividend at 2.38%.
It's a healthy dividend.
Yeah,
Like
but
that.
all of these companies that I've listed have dividends, so that's a good thing to see. But I think I don't know. Lennox seems kind of stinky to me, but I'm probably gonna take some type of stake in all the other four,
Wow.
just because I don't see
It's a long run play.
why the need for AC would go down.
Yeah, and so this is just one outlier in the whole global market, but I can tell you for sure this past summer was one of the hottest on record in Seattle, and the number
Hmm.
of the portable AC units that I saw come into the building this year was insane.
Yeah,
Like people, because there was like 4 days this year that went into the 90s, which has never happened before. So people are buying them on their own as just individual people. But yeah, if this trend keeps going, might be might be something the landlord starts doing themselves for everybody.
no, Ben, a landlord wouldn't put anything in like that.
You never know.
Um, but yeah, that's all I've researched this week. I don't have any other insights.
HVAC, important stuff.
Yeah, Joey, is it all right if I go next?
Go
All
for it,
right,
Ben.
so I just want to talk about this beautiful man.
Yes.
This
Powell.
beautiful man,
J.
he
Powell.
is going to make everybody rich on gold. Let me tell you. And I'm a
I sure hope so.
broken record, but my goodness, gold. You can't deny it. So J. Powell talked on Thursday, did some sort of press conference where essentially he said, "Hey, we're not quite seeing 2% inflation the way that we're going right
Target,
now."
right?
Yeah, which is the target. So he's like, "Okay, we have to get 2% inflation. We are going to do everything in our power to make sure we average out at 2%, which means for the foreseeable future, we're going to be shooting for over 2% inflation."
Mm.
To like bring the average back up to at least 2%. And it involved a lot of they're gonna buy back treasuries, they're gonna buy corporate debt and agencies
Just to get more money out there.
Yeah, just to keep pumping out inflation, and that alone brings up the value of gold because gold isn't really doesn't change with the value of the gold doesn't change with inflation. It's just the dollar value.
Yeah. There's more money. You need more money to buy
exactly.
gold.
So even if you're just looking for a strategy to offset the price of inflation, the decreasing of your dollar's value over time, you can convert some of it to gold, and at the very least, it'll move up with inflation.
Well,
yeah,
and I think we talked about it a while ago, but I am really, hoping we get a little bit more inflation here because I recently locked in a housing cost every month with a mortgage. So which a lot of people did too. This is we talked about this a while ago, but this has been the season for new home buyers. And if we get more inflation, that is great for people with a mortgage because I guess unless you got an adjustable rate mortgage, but a fixed rate mortgage, you locked in your housing payment, whether inflation goes any which way. So it can be a nice place if J. Powell does what he's saying he's going to do.
I think it's interesting as well that I see online so many people are just so worried about inflation from all of the stimulus stuff going on, and we can see that they're obviously struggling to even get inflation above 2%.
Yeah.
We're also struggling to get enough stimulus for people. So.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, back to the gold point. There's always the classic miser choice. If you want to put in some money into gold, you can go out and actually buy the gold coins, the physical asset. But you need storage for that. You need probably some security for that. So a great alternative if you just want to do the physical asset, the commodity of gold. There's paper gold. So tickers like GLDM is great. It moves here. Let me I have it pulled up here.
I should put that in my thing. I made an ETF type thing with M1 Finance.
Yeah, so here's GLDM, and it's compared with just the spot price of gold. So the entire idea here is that this ticker will move exactly along with the spot price of gold. So very cool, lower risk when you're talking about gold investments. And then I guess just year to date, because of all of this basically assurance from the Federal Reserve saying, yeah, we're going to just keep making sure inflation is happening. It's up 30% this year to date.
Wow.
But let's talk about how we could make a little bit more money, put a little bit more risky stuff out.
I like leverage it.
That would be your miners. Your miners,
so you get the company benefit as
royalties.
well, not just the physical item.
Exactly.
Of gold.
Yeah. So there's the
KO.
The speculation of how the company's going to do, how plentiful their mines are going to be, their sort of diversification in the number of mines and where they're located, all that sort of stuff. So I got a few that I wanted to highlight, and I just have their company websites. So I'm going to go from lowest market cap to highest. And just a key couple points. So this is Corvus. They own 2 mines in Nevada, North Bullfrog and Mother Lode. How great is that?
Lode spelled Lode.
So they're still pretty early on in their, I guess, process for these mines. They're still in the exploration phase. They just recently did some exploratory holes to see like what's under their property. So they have a better idea now. They have this cool video on their website, and I won't go through all of it, but they like go through
cool
their holes that they drilled, and then they conceptualize where they think the mining or the gold deposits are.
These 3D renderings from LiDAR data.
Yeah, so very cool. But because it's only 2 properties in Nevada, and that's all they...
It's pretty small, right?
It's small. So the market cap is $337 million.
Oh, that's small.
Very small. And then the stock price at close on Friday was $2.72. So you don't have to put up a whole lot of money to get into this one. But still very cool. I like going through these economic assessments because, I don't know, mining is just very cool to me as a civil engineer. And yeah, it's just it's just neato.
Ben, you're an environmental.
I am a civil engineer, Tim. That is my job.
Ben engineers civility.
That's right. So the next one on the list here is Turquoise Hill.
Wait, but Ben,
what?
Ben,
Yeah.
Ben. With Corvus, wait, that was is that what it was
Corvus.
called? You could do a buy right for only like $200.
You could do a buy right for $200. How great is that? Now I don't know if there are stock options for Corvus. I haven't looked at that, but yeah, $200
small, yeah.
minus whatever the commission is or the premium is for your call that you sell. It's pretty good.
Okay,
Turquoise is next. This is a Mongolian mining company that primarily mines copper, but also... Whoa, Tim, your camera. I didn't touch anything. He just decided to get big. Yeah, so they own a few mines in Mongolia, primarily copper, but also have gold resources in them. So a little bit more diversification in terms of material, and Joey just left. What is happening?
Don't worry about it.
Everybody's cameras are going all over the place. Jeez. I gotta come...
Slight
Joey.
connection issues, but we're back.
Joey's fine. Ben, Turquoise took a big old drop
They did.
recently, didn't they? Like
Yes,
huge.
but it's okay. So their market cap is 1.8 billion, which is still small cap. And they just had a reverse stock split.
Oh, okay, it was a stock
But it was
split.
a reverse one. So when I bought it, I bought 100 shares at like 80 cents, and now it's a 1 to 10 reverse stock split. So let's
1 to 10.
Let's just compare it to the price.
They were tired of being a penny stock.
Price.
Also, Ben, could you give our listeners the ticker for Corvus?
Corvus is KOR, which is confusing because Corvus is spelled CORVUS, but the ticker is KOR.
And the reason is that CRVS, it was stolen by another company named Corvus Pharmaceuticals. So don't confuse the two.
Yeah, so turquoise underperformed against gold. I don't remember what day exactly they did their reverse stock split, but yeah, they popped off back in early September and then came back down to reality of where they are.
Pretty hard.
But again, it's not, because really what we should do, and I don't think I can do this, but we should get copper on here because they are primarily a copper company. So I don't know how copper features. I don't know.
But it's the same principle. When the dollar value is diminished, any physical material like gold or copper should go up.
Correct. Yeah, but copper has not performed as well as gold.
Yeah. It falls a bit better to copper. But yeah.
Yeah.
For those still wondering, Corvus is not optionable. So sorry about your buy right.
Oh,
Tim.
No, it's also not optional. Or optional. You need to buy some.
Yeah.
It's
required.
So I'll just roll through the next couple ones. They just go up in market cap. But we got one more small cap, Nova Gold, ticker NG.
That's a cool name.
Yeah.
I'd invest.
Yeah, they have some mines in Alaska and have a lot of like social and sustainability goals. So they're like all about being good in the area. So if you're into that sort of thing, that's a good miner to invest
I'll believe it when I see it.
I feel like you don't normally expect that from a mining company. So
yeah, true.
That's kind of cool.
But they trade at around $11, $12 right now. If you looked at them even like 6 months ago, it was like half that. Their performance has been insane. And their market cap is just under 4 billion, which is still a small cap, which is insane. Next on the list here, we got Kirkland Lake Gold, which Joey introduced me to.
Heck yeah.
KL.
KL. They are based in Canada, and they are the first one on this list that offers a dividend, which is sweet. They got a 1% dividend right now.
And it has pretty good growth over the years. They've been kind of ramping up that dividend.
Yes. Yeah, so that one I really, really like, especially for the dividend. At the very least, you're just picking up some spare change over time. The final miner, this is like the global one. This is Newmont. They're huge. Their market cap is $53 billion. They operate in Africa, Australia, both of the Americas. They offer a 2.4% dividend. And yeah, they're just awesome. They're great. And I think that there was an article in the Barron's, and I can't remember a few weeks ago, but they were listed as one of the companies that are a safe bet regardless of election outcome, just because they're so globally present.
Right. It's like
doesn't matter anyway.
They're too big.
Doesn't decide anything.
Right.
And then my personal all-time favorite. This is Metalla. This is a royalty and streaming company. So what they do is they pay these miners just a lump sum before they start drilling and getting all the gold out of the ground. They pay them a lump sum, and they're like, hey, in exchange for this amount of money, give me 2% of all of the revenues that you get off of the gold under the ground.
They're like venture
Yeah, exactly.
capitalists for
So
miners.
it's like they have two processes. They have a streaming and a royalty process. The royalty one is a little bit easier to understand, and it's just what I said. They give them money, they get a percentage of the revenue. Right now, they only have 3 contracts that are actually producing gold right now, but they have about 40 or so, a little bit over 40 mines that
What?
are, they have active contracts. They just aren't
Oh,
they aren't
producing.
producing yet. They're either in development of getting the mine set up, or they're still in the exploration phase of finding where exactly
Okay.
they should start mining.
So essentially, they're heavily leveraged
Exactly.
right now, poised for
Yep,
growth.
they're poised for a ton of growth. So yeah, that's my spiel on gold, what I've been looking at recently, and it's good
Neat.
stuff.
Before I forget about it, Ben talked about Carrier being his best call. I want to talk about my worst call because I just remembered it. I remember when I talked about Hylian.
I think so.
I still
the ticker?
believe in the company. HYLN.
Oh, why am I?
The semi trucks, right?
Oh,
Yes, I still believe in the company, but I I bought like $1,000 at like $50.
wow. Let's get rid of these comparisons. Oh my God, Tim!
It's been pretty brutal.
Explain. We need audio.
It's sitting at $22 right now, so I'm down over 50%.
Wow.
Oh.
Sounds about like Bloom Energy.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like my experience with Bloom Energy, which I am still a bag holder. I did not get out at the last peak. So here we go.
No, I mean I'm okay. I'm still buying this company. I still believe in them.
Are you gonna buy more?
Yeah. I'm still buying.
Yeah, it's just a big discount now, Tim.
It's a big
You didn't lose
discount.
money.
They
You
were
just got a good
way
opportunity.
overhyped. But yeah. So don't always listen to me because I
Don't
do
ever
not give
listen
out
to
stock
us.
or investment advice.
Let's compare it to Workhorse. Oh man,
Same shaped
same
graph.
shape.
Same shape, yeah. Yeah, they kind of both feed off of the whole, like all the other EV, I don't know, companies.
Sure. It's just
Joey,
hype.
we're already at 30 minutes. Joey, what'd you have
Oh
to
shoot.
say?
Okay, let me get real quick into this. So we've talked about now HVAC technology. We've talked about precious metals. Let's talk about some precious gene editing technology. Because you may have heard of CRISPR-Cas, the Cas9 technology that makes gene editing cheap and easy. It's been
course, I've
around
heard
for
about
a
it.
while now.
Kyrgyzstan.
Oh yeah, yes.
How do you even pronounce that?
Or I think it's Kyrgyz.
That's that one YouTube
Ben,
channel.
you speak German.
Wait,
Makes
what are
cool
we
cartoons.
talking about?
Kurzgesagt.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Well, we'll drop it in the chat. They make videos like the In a Nutshell series or Explained.
Yeah.
Oh, Kurzgesagt. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that how you
Yeah.
pronounce it? Wait, say it again.
Kurzgesagt. I think. Hold on. I gotta.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard it's pronounced right.
Except
Kurzgesagt.
maybe in the videos where they say their own name.
It just says short saying.
Huh. Interesting.
Short tail.
Is it German?
Kurz is short, and gesagt is like, it's the verb for saying.
Well, Kurzgesagt has a great video specifically on gene editing. I recommend you watch it. It explains how this process works. But the interesting thing is there are publicly traded companies using this technology right now. And it is a crazy sci-fi technology because its implication for humans can be, as the video explains, the end of aging, the end of cancer, designer babies, crazy stuff. Obviously, we're not there yet. The technology works, but is in its infancy as far as really being well commercialized. But there are 4 companies that do make money off of it. I'm not sure if any of them are profitable yet, but the easy one to remember is CRISPR Technologies, spelled, the ticker is CRSP, CRISPR Therapeutics, excuse me. I think they're the biggest one, and they are the one that's been growing the hardest because I think it makes sense. If you're thinking, I want to invest in CRISPR technology, you go for the one named CRISPR. And they have been rising, but there are others, namely Intellia Therapeutics, Edit, and the last one is Sangmo. But they
Edit's pretty good.
They all use that technology to make different types of therapies, and I feel like investing in them now would mean you believe that the technology will one day become a big deal, because yeah, they've already grown a lot just based on, I think, hype and them getting more and more trials done, but it's still not like a widespread profitable technology. Yeah, they're like,
Joey,
CRISPR is not profitable right now.
Do you think you're gonna use gene editing in yogurt?
It's confidential, Tim.
Oh, no. Joey, please.
So it's interesting, Joey. I'm looking at the chart right now with all those companies compared, and year to date, CRISPR is not the top performer.
Oh, is it not? I feel like I've been following them.
So CRISPR, it's definitely not a low growth performance. It's up 70%, but NTLA is up 90% this year.
Intellia Therapeutics. So
Nutella? I love that stuff.
Yeah, Nutella.
Nutella's awesome.
I think if you look at a wider time frame, Ben, go to like 5 years, because a lot of these are like 2016 IPOs. Yeah, so they're recent companies.
CRISPR's up 650% over the past 5 years.
Because the other ones kind of tanked a couple years ago, but CRISPR is the one that's really persevered. And my strategy, though, is invest in all of them equally. And even if 3 of them go to 0, if one of them keeps rising 600% every 5 years, you made a ton of money.
Because again,
so that's all I have to say.
Because again, past performance
video,
equals future
learn
returns.
Some German.
Joey, can you send me those tickers?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're right here.
I'll be sure to drop these in the Discord.
Yeah, but it's small on my screen, Ben. I can't see it very well.
Well, we can read them off. It's NTLA, CRSP, EDIT, and SGMO. Those are the only 4 I know of that are publicly traded companies that use this technology.
Nice.
I have a bunch of things to buy now.
But I'm excited to watch these like for the next decade, because I think it's going to be exciting stuff.
Nice. All right. Well, very cool. I think that pretty much does it for this episode.
Yeah. Went a bit long this week, but
yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, check out the description for Discord and Vinovest and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, join our Discord, because we got some conversations going on in there now.
Yes, it's pretty entertaining. Alrighty. Sleep good, everybody.